Schmeep! Welcome back to Digibros. Guys, Victor's tired. It's not late or anything. It's only like 2 p.m., which is uncharacteristically early for us to be recording.
Correct.
But Victor's tired because he's been working on a film. It's been a gigantic pain in the ass. Sure, Josh is listening to this. Josh started listening to Vic and Hope play
Hi, Josh.
Mario.
Get off my podcast.
This film's been a pain in the ass, and it's like it's what I gotta talk about because it's what I'm doing, and that's what I'm gonna be doing later today. We can only record for a couple hours, so I'm going to shoot the last day of this film.
Yeah.
But like, the story behind this has been so weird because it was like Josh got me with these people saying like, oh, I've got this big opportunity. I'm writing for this short film, and they're gonna like do a short film and try to get it like funded into a feature. I'm like, all right, that sounds awesome. And then like, getting deeper into it, I find out that these people are just students at Regent University. So it's like, they're doing this for a class project. I don't know if the class project is like that they're supposed to make a film, like a teaser film, and then get it turned into, like, I think that the project's probably to make a teaser film with the expectation that you can sell it and get it turned into a feature or whatever. So like, that's the expectation these people are operating under, but like, this isn't my first time at the rodeo, you know? Like,
he's poked a few cows. He's you know, ranched a few hands.
So like, any short film, everyone's making short films with the expectation that that's what's gonna happen. You know, that's the big idea. That's what everyone likes to get hype about, and that's what they hype themselves up about. And like, I've never seen it happen locally, so like, I come into it very skeptical, you know? And then like, through the process of something that fucking happened, like, the original script they had was good, and that's what Josh was helping out on. And I was like, all right, I don't mind shooting this film. I'm just supposed to be the DP. And then I'm pretty sure I'm done doing anything here, and I can move on. But I just wanted to like try to look for some extra guys.
I would like to call bullshit on this game because penguins are flightless birds, and that penguin just flew away.
What the fuck? Are you sure you didn't like?
No, he
like,
flew. Okay. He straight up.
He like
flew
slid away.
He took to the fucking skies, Victor.
Yeah.
That's not how penguins work.
Yeah. Anyways, on this film, you know, the idea is that they're gonna be able to turn it into a feature next year and actually do it. And I'm like, so I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. I don't know what fucking plans they have in action, but like, the original script gets canned for some reason, and so now we're shooting another script.
Because it's Regent. Like, you didn't specify what that original script was about. And how it is fundamentally
No, that's not why it got
incompatible
canned.
with
That's not why.
Regent.
That's not why.
It wasn't because of the subject matter.
No, it wasn't because of the subject matter. It was because the script was based on a play, and apparently they had just like asked the writer of that play for permission to make the script, and then the writer of the play went back on that.
Oh,
it said you can't make this, because I guess they didn't really ask if they could do it. They just kind of assumed based on like a nice conversation or something, and then the writer caught wind of it. It was just like, no, I didn't give you guys permission to do this for real. So that's why they weren't doing the original script. So it was like, okay,
nice.
But then like, the expectation of me working on the film carried over into now they have to do another script because it's a class project, so they have to do another script, and now I'm just like expected to DP it. I'm like, okay, well, I guess I have the time. I can still DP this. I'm not really losing anything. You know, I'll make connections with these guys, even though now I know they're Regent students. So, like, you know, yeah, like, they seem like great people, but you take it with a grain of salt because they're still students, you know? Like, who knows where their life is going to take them after school. It's not going to be straight out of school, straight into Hollywood. You know, that's just not how it happens.
Yeah.
But, like, it's still nice, and like, Josh is excited to work with these guys. I don't know what their background is necessarily. Maybe they got more experience than I know. I don't know. You know, they're good people. But like, we get on this next script, which is just like not anything I care about to any extent.
You already got this time.
Did I? Okay. I don't remember what I got. Anyway, all right, I'll get out of this place. so I'm not just wandering around rambling. Maybe I can. Did I get the timer guy there? Anyway, script isn't anything I care about, so I hadn't been like super jazzed to work on it or anything, because it's just like not my genre. It kind of feels like a drug PSA, which is just kind of like the opposite of like my values. So it's just like, okay, whatever. This is, at least it's something, you know. And Josh is super excited to work with these people, and he's supposed to be like writing the feature-length version that they'll turn into a movie next year, assuming that all works out, because I don't know what the fuck they're... I thought I heard crowdfunding at some point, and when I hear crowdfunding, I hear, okay, so you have no idea that any of this is actually going to work. Like, that to me is the least confidence-inspiring thing in the world, is crowdfunding for a fucking short film, or for a feature film based on a short that isn't good, and like, you know, how's that going to turn into anything? But then, like, you still, you're investing in people more than you are a story, you know? My logic behind still working on it is that these are at least people who are trying to be proactive, and eventually they will do something, you know? It probably won't be this project, it probably won't be a feature that they end up making next year, but like, at least I'm making friends with people who want to make films, you know? At the end of the day, that's what I need to be doing, you know? At least Josh will end up writing a film whether it gets made or not, you know? So it's worthwhile to work with these people. I don't want to make it seem like I don't want to continue to work with them, especially because I know Josh will probably be listening to this, and I don't want to come off like a huge fucking dickhead. But basically, fucking somehow in making this film, I have ended up as the director and DP, which means I'm doing fucking everything myself. And that was my biggest worry going into this, is like, okay, this is now a student film, which means it has no budget, no resources, and everything is gonna go wrong. Because that's okay, I have done this before.
Yeah.
Fuck. I'm wasting my time.
I think you've done a majority.
Yeah, I think I did basically everything. I couldn't remember how long we were here. Oh yeah, because I stopped at the big slide at the end, because I had basically done everything. Okay. I've done most of the stars, so that's great. I gotta get out of here. Anyways. So yeah, you're working on a student film. You know, we shot one scene from the other script, and I kind of got the gist of what working with these people is going to be like, which is that they aren't as experienced as me, and things are going to take a lot longer, and like, it's going to be a process. It feels like taking a step back to working on films with students when I was at ODU, you know? Where now I'm used to working with like a lot of professionals, and I'm taking a step back and working with students again. These are pretty experienced students, but they're still students nonetheless.
Yeah.
And it's still not completely professional.
Right.
And so now I'm director and DP of this. And then, like, you know something isn't going to turn out super well when the sound guy is whoever was around who wasn't doing anything, which is how it's been, you know? We've ended up using all of my sound stuff, we're using my camera, we're using basically everything's mine. Except for some lighting stuff that's only on the level of what I already have.
Right.
So it's like, the production value is basically just all me. But then the scope of it is something that I can't easily handle on my own. You know, when I did the 48-hour film festival, it was like...
It was manageable.
We had a script that was ridiculously manageable, and I don't let things escalate above that if I know I can't handle it, you know? And this one's kind of like, for both the days we had, it was like, we're supposed to have these 12-hour filming days reduced to 4 hours or 7 hours, and it's like, okay, this isn't enough time. This literally is not enough time to craft something that's really good. So what we're gonna get is something that's okay, you know?
Yeah.
It's not gonna be the best. And then at that point, like, it's probably fine for their student project. They're probably gonna get an A because it's fine and passable, but for me, it just comes off as work that is on a level that I should be above, you know? Like, I should be putting out better content.
Put in your reel.
Yeah. Maybe there will be a couple shots I can pull out of it, but, like, ultimately it's not going to be something I show off as, like, hey, look at this great film I made. It's going to be something that was just a practice for me that I'm not going to look at again, which is the same thing that happened with fucking one of my ODU friends' films that I shot, ironically, last November, and it was the same story, where he came to me, like, making it sound like it was something bigger, and then it just turned out it was his class project, and so, like, we had a super rushed shooting. He had all of his fucking actors and stuff flaking out and losing locations, and then it just ended up being like a super half-assed rushed production that was mostly me doing everything, and then it, like, I don't show anyone that film because it didn't turn out super good, you know? Like, there's some certain screen caps that look okay, but, like, in the end, it wasn't amazing.
Yeah.
It was like, you know, it's nice working with these guys. They seem like great people and everything, but, like, it's a student film. Things fall through, and in the end, it's not going to be, you know, I'm still going to be showing off the 48-hour project because that's going to be way better, you know?
Right.
At least it's, I guess,
God,
a refreshment for me, helps me hone my my directing skills, which has been interesting. But I have fun directing and I have fun shooting, but then when I have to do both at the same time and really fast, it fucking sucks. It is so stressful. It is just a pain in the ass, and then like everyone gets fucking distracted all the time, which I'll call Josh out here for being Josh. I hope you're listening, because you are the token set goof, at least for that day. The set goof is there's always the guy who, like, you love him, he's hilarious. Everyone else probably thought Josh was the best guy on that set for being funny and charming and having a good time, you know, making it fun for all the people who are stuck there not fucking doing anything because they can't really help me, you know. He's probably the best for them. But for me, who has the entire weight of everything on my back and has to rush to get all this shit done and try to stay focused and try to keep other people focused, like, the set goof funny guy is like the bane of my existence. And I know I ended up, like, I think at some point I told Josh, like, Josh, go away.
Go
and
away.
he was like, oh, you have to be mean. And I'm like, you know, I probably did come off like a huge dick, but I'm stressed the fuck out working on this film. So I'm sorry, Josh. You're great. You're a very charming boy.
Very charming.
It's very hard to keep people focused
Yeah.
on a small film set like that, where, like, when you work on a big film, everyone has to be focused
because you're losing
like,
money if you.
Yeah, and it's moving really fast. But then, like, on this, where there's just people around, where it's like they brought these extra people to help out with certain roles, but then, like, those people are never around when I need them, because the biggest thing you could do on a film set, your job is to be around listening so that you can do what you need to do at the appropriate time. You need to just be on standby, be silent and listening and waiting and anticipating what people are gonna need, so that when they need it, it's already there. You know, you have to be a step ahead. You can't be asked to do anything. You have to already be assuming what you have to do, you know?
Right.
Like, there's this guy who was helping out as a grip, which is basically like, I don't know if this guy was, like, autistic or if he was the most hostile person I've ever fucking met.
Oh yeah, either one.
Because, like, his attitude towards it was like, he seemed like he's probably worked on some bigger things before and knows the roles pretty well, because he was thinking of himself as a grip, and what a grip does is they get stands. Like, they are in charge of the heavy duty stuff, and, like, there's a grip and a gaffer. The grip is a guy who just gets the stands for the lights and puts them where they need to be, and then the gaffer comes by with the light and puts it on and, like, angles it and stuff.
Okay.
And, like, when you're on a big set where you have to have 10 people doing that kind of stuff, it's really efficient. When you're on a tiny set where there's just me and the grip, like, having a grip who only puts stands down is not helpful at all, you know?
Right.
And so this guy, like, we show up on set and he's just like, hey, Victor, do you need anything? Do you need me to put a stand down? And he's like, I'm going to be in here. You'll let me know if you need me to put a stand down. And I'm just like, that attitude is not going to fucking help me at all. Like, if you're viewing yourself as someone who is around for me to find when I need him to put a stand down, then I have no use for you. Because in the time it takes me to find someone to do the thing I need them to do, I could just do it myself. Like, if he is in the room that is not where I am. Like, if he's right next to me the whole time, I can look to the side and go, hey, can you get me a stand out of the room? And he could go, yeah, sure. But if I have to go into the room to find him, if he's in the room with the stands, and I have to go into the room to find him to tell him to get the stand, I can just grab the stand while I'm there, you know? There's no point in having that person now. And so it's like, if everyone is just like, I don't know, like, I understand it's awkward sometimes and people want to stay out of the way, but then, like, there's a right way to stay out of the way and a wrong way to stay out of the way. Like, the wrong way to stay out of the way is to go into the other room and start talking to people, because then you're completely useless. Like, you might as well not even be there, you know? The right way to stay out of the way is to, like, be around in the same room, but, like, be aware of what's going on, you know? Staying out of the shot, but around the set. Knowing what you're supposed to be doing. There are ways to do it. I don't know, man. I don't like working on these student projects. And I can't direct a DP at the same time again. I will refuse next time. Like, I'm gonna do one fucking role. I'm not gonna do both roles. It's too stressful. It's way too much. It's way too much responsibility on one person. Because now anything that's wrong with the film is my fault. It all comes down to me. Even though I've got all this pressure on me and I'm having to rush all these things, anything that looks bad is completely my fault because I was the one holding the camera. I was the one telling people where to move. I was the only one seeing what the finished product is going to look like. So to everyone else, if there's anything wrong, they're not going to know until they get into editing. And they couldn't have done anything about it because I was the only one in control.
Yeah.
Ugh.
It's, it sounds inefficient. Oh?
That was the problem I had when I worked on Public Affairs. The big film I got to work on last year is, like, in the first, like, 4 days or so, I was kind of, like, I was always used to being the one in charge as, like, the camera assistant in, like, making everything happen. So, like, I had kind of assumed that as a leadership position and you need to be telling people what to do, because I was used to working with other students who didn't know what the fuck to do and I had to tell them, you know?
Yeah.
So I got onto this big film, and I'm kind of thinking of myself as, like, as a smaller cog in the machine, like, to be ordered what to do. But then I didn't realize the assumption is that you do everything without being told, you know? I should already know what I'm supposed to be doing without being told and realizing the extent of what I need to be doing. And so I wasn't doing enough until I finally, like, stopped and asked, like, hey, what do I need to be doing, you know? If I'm not doing it enough, please tell me.
Yeah.
And then I realized, okay, I have to be doing everything, you know, I have to be a step ahead of the guy in charge, you know?
Right, yeah.
You have to anticipate needs. It's the greatest thing. I knew that as a first AC. I didn't know it as a third AC. But everyone on set needs to be anticipating needs. They need to be a step ahead of whoever is above them at all times. Because that person needs to focus on bigger shit, you know?
Right.
They gotta be making shit happen. And then, like, God, on the set, it's this fucking guy, this poor, like, Asperger's boy who's doing the behind-the-scenes film, and he will not leave me the fuck alone. Like, just prioritize. Like, I understand your student project right now is to make a behind-the-scenes film about what we're doing, but I am trying to make a film, and I don't want to fucking see you. I don't want to hear you. It should be obvious. Like, he spends so much time asking me how to be out of the way that he becomes completely in the way. Like, we're shooting this final scene yesterday, and we have like 40 minutes to shoot these like 2 scenes because we spent so long on one of the scenes because our actor turned out to be like, love this guy to death. It's like this older Egyptian dude who's like, I guess he's some kind of like faculty at Regent, and I don't know how he got roped into this, but he's like the nicest dude in the world. He seems to love me. Like, he kept telling me like I'm a great director, like the way I work is super cool, and I was just like, I don't know what basis you're judging me on, but thank you. And he was just the sweetest dude. And then it came to him acting, and like, he's definitely not an actor. Right. He has no idea what he's doing. And like, he kept fucking up this big paragraph he had to say over and over again, and he would like take it really hard every time. because he felt so bad that he was fucking it up that it made him even worse. And you couldn't like say like, dude, don't worry about it, you know, just relax and and get it done. He was just like taking it too hard and fucking up even more, and so it ate up like an assload of time. Yeah. So we had like 40 minutes to shoot our last 2 scenes, and it was just not enough time. And then I have the behind the scenes guy, like he's somehow like we're in this cramped doctor's office, and like it's not the best location. It's in like a Regent, some kind of like Christian broadcasting set room, but it's like
CBN or something.
Yeah, it's like a CBN thing, but like it's this terrible little like fake hospital room, and like it's tiny and cramped, and like I need to get a big shot, an establishing shot of the hospital room, so I need to get in one corner and see like basically the entire room to establish that we're here and get this good shot with all the characters in it. There is only one spot in this fucking room I can do that from. One spot, and I get in there, and this behind the scenes guy keeps going like, oh man, it's really tight in here. Oh, I can't really get, you know, I can't get my shot if you're there in that corner. And I'm just like, oh, what the fuck do you want me to do? This is the shot. This is the only place I have to get this angle. And I think the film we're making is a higher priority than your fucking behind the scenes video. Like, and then I told him, you can sit in that chair there in the other corner, and that is the only place I won't see you. The only place. I will see anywhere else. If you want to see any of this action, that is the only place. I told him this. And then he keeps going like, oh, can I get over here? And then he like goes into the doorway, and we're like, dude, we're gonna see you in that doorway. You can't be in the doorway. He's like, no, if I get back at this angle, and we're like, we fucking see you. And I told him, I got that fucking aggressive tone.
The parent
I could get that, yeah, I could get that parent tone sometimes when I'm tired of dealing with people. And I just very, like, cuttingly say, you can sit in that chair, and that is it. That is the only place you can be. Because I had told him multiple times. And then he kind of like, you know, like, got a little upset. And I'm just like, well, what the fuck do you want me to do? This is the only place where you're safe. I told you. I fucking told you, and you didn't listen. That drives me insane. I'm trying to manage all of this shit, and also have to deal with this idiot doing his behind the scenes video, and I told him the only place he could be, and he complained about it. Like, I don't care.
It's like, dude, your shit is not priority.
Too much. So that's me venting about this film. Not to say, you know, I don't want to keep, you know, I'm doing my best. I'm not half-assing it.
Right.
Like, I'm fucking trying. It's just been difficult.
It's just hard.
And then I feel bad, because there's just certain moments where I just go, like, I know this doesn't look as good as it could, you know, if I had more time. But you can't spend a million years trying to perfect something when you literally don't have enough time, you know? When you're gonna get kicked out of a place at 4:30, you can't sit there and perfect every single shot. You've got to just do it in a way that works and move on. And it's just like, God, it drives me, it makes my stomach sink a little bit, you know? Because it's like, I know I can do better, but there's just no way I can do it in the time I'm allotted and with the resources I have, you know? Like, they don't have enough stuff to make a professional looking film. If we don't have the resources, I can't do it.
Yeah, you just don't have the...
Yeah. And I can only collect so much shit on my own. Like, I have a perfect amount of shit to shoot interviews, to shoot little commercial videos, but working on a real film is a completely different story, you know?
Yeah, but I don't think you're supposed to, you know, in most cases, you're not supposed to be shooting a whole film.
There's no circumstance where I would be shooting a whole, like, feature film that should have a budget, you know? You don't shoot feature films on nothing.
Oh.
Anyway, that's my rant about that.
Oh. How are you getting there?
Go around. God, way to get in there.
There must be another way.
There must be another way. Anyways, that's Victor's rant.
That's Victor's rant.
I partially didn't want to talk about the film because I don't want to, like...
I wasn't expecting you to talk about it.
I don't want to send a bad vibe to mostly Josh is the only one working on that film who'll hear this, but I think Josh might understand a little bit, you know? That I'm not fucking a perfect monster. And then people like... People praise me all the time. It bothers me because it sets an expectation.
I knew you were going to say that.
I don't like when people like give me too much praise because then I feel like I'm being set up to fail, you know? If it doesn't look perfect, then like, oh, I thought you were the best. I thought you could do this and that. And everyone fucking builds me up and I just like like I you know, I appreciate the compliments, but you're fucking setting an expectation for my level of work that is not going to be met, you know?
Right. I thought you were that boy. I thought you could work miracles.
It's like I'm just a guy, you know, with average level talents. And I've gotten really accustomed to shooting fucking fast as shit, but there's a limitation to how much you can do with that.
Humans are only human.
Yes, humans are just human.
Come into this world with their dreams and aspirations.
They want it
They
all.
want it all.
Ooh.
So yeah, it's a hard life, man.
Rough, man. Doing indie films is fucking rough as shit. It's a pain in the ass.
Indeed. Oh. Got him.
I gotta get up there.
Yeah.
I'm like, what am I doing?
What are you doing? That's an excellent question.
Well, I was supposed to go up that dirt path with some falling rocks, and I got distracted by like going around this little thing, and I just didn't do anything.
You got distracted by literally everything in the game.
No, okay. Did I go through here?
No, that's where the coins are.
No, because I went down that path. And did that put me up at the top of this tower? Did I already go to the top of the tower?
I think you did, yeah.
Okay, I already
so you
did
gotta
that.
get the guy over there, the other
yeah,
pork
there's a dude
guy.
there. Trying to keep focus. I'm too busy bitching about films. On the one hand, it's fun, and it's the adrenaline rush of like being that stressed out can be like enjoyable to an extent, but then like the cooldown is grueling. Like I get into this mode where like I'm not eating and I'm hauling ass on these films, and it's both like gratifying to be working on something but also crushing to know that it's not like amazing, you know? And then like the afterwards I just fucking crash and I just feel sad. And hungry, and I eat a whole bunch.
Well, you're always hungry, but
I don't want to disappoint people, man. Especially when they put these fucking huge expectations on me. It's ridiculous. Just fucking praise me to everyone. I'm just like, what are they gonna do? Like, everyone will praise how good I'm doing without having seen any of the footage I shot, you know? It's like, I don't want to be not criticized if I fucked up. I don't feel like I've done an amazing job. I don't know. We'll see how it's done in editing. And then it turns out to be better than everyone else in their fucking classic film anyway.
did he?
Woohoo!
Well, I think that probably took up an episode.
The whole episode?
I think so.
Yeah. Similar with 48 Hour Film. I was just like, this film isn't, it's not amazing. Like, I just happen to be the best of the worst. Like, I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know if that's true.
I don't know.
I feel like at least the 48-hour film was a good time. It was fun. It had a cool, different premise.
That might be the limit of what Victor could do by himself. Alright. Next time on Digibros, Victor will be less down on himself.